November 11, Good Movie Monday, brought to you by no one.
I can't believe our plea for sponsors has gone unanswered.
But if you want to be someone that supports this show in 2025, get in touch.
And like I said in previous shows, we will plug anything you want, any cause, any belief.
Hang on, this might have been the problem last time.
We are completely 100% for sale.
We are. Just don't go into the specifics.
Yeah, okay.
We've had some great sponsors in the past. We had Recall TV, were a great one. They used to be Viewlorium. They're a streaming service. M. Resale, Kaiju Beer, Luna Drive-In, Four Pillars Gin. Come on, people. Be part of it. Be part of it.
No.
I think two of them have.
Two of them have, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'm looking for... I would love, like, imprint. Some of that sweet imprint.
Yep. Umbrella.
Sponsorship, Umbrella.
Yep.
Madman.
Yep. Climb on board because we talk about your shit all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we introduce ourselves for the newbies that are watching or listening or whatever, wherever
You do it. You do it.
We are the podcast dedicated to nerdy cinematic ramblings. That was my attempt at a radio voice, by the way. It was terrible. My name's Glenn Cochran. This is Ben Hellwig. And Ben, would you like to tell our new listeners what you've... just tell them a little bit about yourself in 30 words or less.
I am for sale.
Enough need to be said.
That's all you need to know.
One thing we do pride ourselves on this show is bringing you conversations most weeks with prominent people in the film industry, whether they're actors, directors, writers, whatever. We love presenting these, and we've got a great one this week. I was really, really thrilled, like chuffed with this one. I got to sit down and have a chat with Jason Scott Lee, who, you know, if you know, you know. Like, this is a guy that's been making great movies for 30 years now. He was Bruce Lee in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. He was in Soldier, which is one of my personal favourites with Kurt Russell. He was great in that. Remember him really buff and bald, and he was awesome.
Huge.
Yep.
He was huge.
And he's still going. Recently, he was in the live-action Mulan remake that Disney did. He's in the upcoming Lilo and Stitch live-action remake. He was in that Disney production of Doogie Kamealoha MD, or whatever the hell that was called.
Yeah, the Doogie Howser remake, which, look, I did watch when it kind of dropped, and... I also, because they've also put on the original Doogie Howser, and I was like, first I gave that a watch, and then I was like, oh, they've done a remake. I'll check this out. And the stories are remarkably similar in those first couple of episodes.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched it, but isn't the gist of it that the girl's obsessed with Doogie Howser, and that's why her name is Doogie? They nickname her Doogie because she's a fan of the original show?
I don't remember it that well.
Okay.
I just, like, the episode... The kind of thrust of the story was the same. Like, her story was very, very similar to Doogie Howser.
Gotcha.
And I think there's a thing where she's in hospital and I think Doogie calls out his superior and maybe gets into trouble. Like, he's like, that's wrong or something. And she does this. It's exactly the same.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
from memory.
Either way, Jason Scott Lee. His new movie's called The Reckoning, and that's been written by the guy that made Young Guns 1 and 2, Thunderheart, The Highwaymen, Hidalgo, like John Fusco, big time writer. So we're going to chat about that. Stick around for it. Also coming up,
I was going to say the question is though, does it feature in the soundtrack the song "The Reckoning"?
Well,
do you remember that?
We're the only
Boomcat?
We're the only territory where it's called The Reckoning. Overseas, it's called The Wind and the Reckoning.
What was the what was the name of the band? Because she's an actress who was in it. It was her and her brother.
I don't know, but we're in intro mode here, and you're slowing things down.
But this is an important... Yeah, Boomcat. It was Boomcat.
There we go. Got it right to begin with. You keep doing that. We've got Jared Gunn coming up in a few minutes to talk about physical media, and there's a heap of stuff coming out, so definitely stick around for that. Terrific TV Tuesday, Ben's Love Child, that's coming up. We're going to break the movie mold and talk about some TV for a good 10 minutes. That's always fun.
That's right.
Yeah. The Boneheads, the guys from Kentucky from the Bonehead Weekly podcast will be along for their fun-sized segment. They'll take over the mic and talk about, I think this week, worst directors. Bad directors. I think that's the gist of it. So that'll be an interesting listen.
Controversial topic considering your taste in films, Glenn.
Well, I think I've already taken Joe to task on one of them. Anyway, that's a fun one. So that's coming up. Got some songs, some recommendations, fun stuff.
You know what else we've got?
What's that?
Glenn, play the theme song.
Who's the crazy motherfucker? Who's gonna watch on 47 Hallmark Christmas movies? It's Ben. That's who. And who's the crazy motherfucker? Who's gonna listen to him talk about it? Even though he stopped caring weeks ago, it's Ben. That's who. And you because it's their show. And they'll do it if they want to.
It went way too long.
Oh my god! It could have been. This is the best thing ever.
It's great. I sent you 18 possible versions of that theme song. I got way too into it. Thanks to the good folks at what was the name of at Udio. Udio, the AI jingle machine. I will take. I did write the lyrics. That wasn't. Imagine if AI, if AI actually knew enough about us, the show, the whole idea of this segment, and actually wrote the lyrics for that would be amazing. Then I think it would be like Terminator time. But yes, I have made a dent in my goal, in my
Christmas
challenge.
pilgrimage. Your Christmas pilgrimage, I'm calling it.
To watch all 47 Hallmark movies. I'm not actually sure about the TV shows. That might be a step too far. But the first couple of eps of Finding Mr. Christmas have dropped. So if you can watch US TV shows, they are available.
Now it's got to be said, I did try to start this journey with you. After last week's show, we sat down to watch one of these, and it just didn't go as planned because something wrong with the internet connection.
Yeah, it didn't work too well. But so we watched something else.
We ended up
instead.
watching I'm Glad It's Christmas with Gladys Knight, and only halfway through did I realise the title was Gladys. I'm Glad It's Christmas. Yeah. Whoa, what a doozy that was.
Yeah, that was definitely not up to the usual Hallmark quality.
Safe to say, don't bother.
Yeah, it was not good. It was on Netflix, wasn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, bring me along this journey for you.
But I did. But the one we were going to watch was Holiday Crashes.
Yes,
and that has been my favourite so far. I know last year I said that the Christmas Charade was the best one so far. Well, that has been replaced with Holiday Crashes, primarily because it does contain in-depth Snake Plissken references.
Awesome.
And I'm totally down for that. And that's a great one. That's Lindsay Finesca from the Kick-Ass movies, and her friend, they work at a printing shop where they get all these Christmas invitations, and they decide to just turn up and pretend to be people that have been invited to these parties. It's great.
Great concept.
And of course, they find love.
Oh, of course they do.
Lindsay Finesca with a high-powered business magnate, and her friend with the valet, who is secretly, spoiler alert. No, I'm not going to spoil it. I also
as if they give a fuck.
They will next year when Viavision releases them, and I think it would be Hallmark Christmas Collection Volume 67.
See, this is what we're talking about. Viavision, get on board.
Get on board. We're talking about your stuff.
We're pumping it up.
So the 5-year Christmas Party was the other one. Was another one I watched, which was great. It was like this couple who go to school to get university together, and they kind of reconnect once a year around Christmas, where they both work for the same catering company because their lives are going great.
There's always a catering company involved in these movies.
Someone's got to serve the food, and of course Operation Nutcracker. I waited for you to have a mouthful of beverage before dropping that title.
Yeah, right.
This is I think Operation Nutcracker, unfortunately, so far is my least favourite.
That's a shame.
Of them, I don't really want to go into it. It's a nice idea. It's the first of the. It's actually not one of the main Hallmark Channel Hallmark movies. It is a Hallmark Mysteries. Ooh. It's one of the Hallmark Mysteries ones. And there is
who is the Nutcracker?
It is, yeah, the lead actress. The whole premise of the film is that the son of this family who they run like some kind of charity. They're auctioning off this priceless antique nutcracker to come up with a bunch of money for the
Now, is it a
kids'
nutcracker as in the
hospital.
Christmas soldier figurine, or
Yes.
is it a
No,
nutcracker?
it is. It's the Christmas the soldier figurine, and of course he flies in to I don't know where, New Jersey or wherever the hell they are, along with the lead actress. She flies in at the same time, and she's pitching to be the party hostess to do all of the designs and manage the whole thing. And of course they've got exactly the same kind of luggage, and then the switcheroo at the airport. They have multiple. They
Gets
have
them
multiple
every time.
They have multiple meet cutes, and they actually repeatedly talk about how they're meet cutes. It breaks the fourth wall. I'm talking about it way too much, considering it's the one that
There we go.
But like I say, it's the one I like the least, but still pretty good.
We are off and running on this Hallmark Christmas adventure.
But it's on, yeah.
Good Movie Monday goes Hallmark.
Yes, indeed.
You didn't put that into the jingle.
No, I was like, I just wasn't smart enough because when I was coming up with it, I was like, "What am I calling this? What am I doing?" And then I literally, like, I had a lot, like I sent you 18.
Yeah.
I made about 200. Where I was just, like, what about this? What if I do this? What does it sound like if I make it say this?
Well, listen next week for another one of these jingles
play
because
another one?
I'm going to mix them up. That's for sure because there's so many good ones. Great. And look, before we press on, we've got Jarrett coming up in a second. The Christmas theatrical run has begun. Like, movies are starting to drop in the cinemas that are Christmas themed, some onto streaming platforms. That new Jack Black one was just, the trailer dropped on Friday, which was Dear Santa. That looks fun.
Is that the one where he forgives Carl Gass?
No, but it's about a kid that writes a letter to Santa, but he's got dyslexia, so he sends it to Satan. And Jack Black plays Satan and comes up on Christmas, and it's a bit like a Little Nicky type of movie. It looks really fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and Jack Black does it like he does from Tenacious D, devil style. It looks fun. But one that we both watched hitting cinemas this Thursday is Christmas Eve in Miller's Point, which
Yes.
I really freaking like this one. I don't know about you. I get a sense that you didn't at all. But
No.
the premise behind this one is it's a family Christmas. It's sort of like take all the chaotic Christmas moments from other movies, like the dinner table scenes from Christmas Vacation or the chaos of Home Alone.
But I feel like it makes the Griswolds and the McAllisters look like my family, where it's just 4 people. Like,
But
there's
this
many.
This is a movie, though, that captures an atmosphere more than it is a story. It is sort of...
Yeah, there's zero plot.
Yeah, and there's not supposed to be, I don't think. Like, it's just the chaos of a family Christmas and 2 teenagers halfway through... They break out of the house for the night and go and find their own adventures. So we go on that story as well, and it becomes a bit like Suburbia and movies like Dazed and Confused. It's got a sort of a teeny kind of twist.
Yeah, but it still cuts back to the parents.
Oh, it
and
does.
Stuff all during
I
that
just really,
as well.
really enjoyed everything about this. I particularly like. You don't even know what I'm talking about here because you haven't seen the movie. But I've got to say it anyway. The uncle is a wannabe screenwriter, and someone finds his script and reads it out aloud to the family, and he gets very embarrassed. But the moment that scene, did you get that far into it?
Yeah. I watched the whole film.
Oh, cool. I really love that moment where it turns around.
Yeah, they turn and they like the...
They like what he's written, and there's a really nice moment. Look, this film just did it for me in all different ways at different points throughout the film.
Yeah, I really... Look, I get that you liked it, and I do. I like films like that.
Yeah.
I just thought this was a bit too much, and at the same time, not enough. I really want to show you a movie called The Myth of the American Sleepover, which I absolutely
You've
fucking
mentioned
loved.
it before. You mentioned it before.
Which is the same guy who did It Follows and Under the Silver Lake. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Same as, in the same vein as Dazed and Confused.
I love these
and all that
movies
sort
where
of stuff.
it's like orchestrated chaos.
Yeah. But I will say, look, I was deeply, deeply offended by special guest star Michael Cera's facial hair.
Oh, it's
It was
really
so
good.
offensive.
It reminded me of what's his name? The ginger guy from The Burbs, Courtney
Yeah,
Gaines.
Courtney Gaines,
It's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
But he plays a cop with Greg Turlington, and I love those moments. I thought they were great. It's kind of doesn't fit the film, but in and of themselves, they're kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did make me feel quite was nostalgically depressed when they do capture this guy and he's talking about his 10-year high school reunion. And I mean, admittedly, mine is a 30-year high school reunion.
And the guy they capture is Steven Spielberg and Kate Capshaw's son.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and also Martin Scorsese's daughter is in here. So, like I said to you the other day, at least this director of this movie can guarantee that two of the greatest directors of all time have seen his movie.
And I do like, what's his name? Schenkman, I think it is. The guy who plays the dad in the opening thing.
He's a bit like a Ray Romano type.
He is.
Yeah.
He's like a TV, like a mainstay in a lot of TV shows. And in the last 2 or 3 things I've seen him in, he's played the high-powered criminal assassin kind of, and now watching him as the kind of goofy dad.
Yeah, he's got this moment where he cracks a joke at a woman, at a sister-in-law, and she like completely breaks down in front. He's like has no idea what he's just done.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I did find there's one part of it too that I also found quite upsetting. Like there's a whole, but the main kind of core group of the family are like 4 or 5 siblings.
Yep.
And one of them lives in their mother's house with the mother, and the mother is getting to the point where she can no longer really look after herself, and is getting becoming too much of a burden for.
I think she's got cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's got. Yeah, but he wants to put her into a home, and the other siblings are like totally against it, but they are not willing to step up and do fucking anything to help.
Yeah, and he's on his own.
And he and his wife, and he's like, my wife just can't handle it. Like it's affecting our marriage, and they couldn't give less. It just it totally rings true. Also, I found it infuriating.
Well, I kind of connected with some of those moments I felt were quite relatable. But the sister says, we've got to talk about selling the house. He's like, it's already done. So yeah, that's Christmas Eve at Miller's Point. I think it's worth a look. It's in cinemas. If you don't catch it there, it'll be on streaming before long, no doubt.